you know, obviously me taking over, this is, like I said yesterday, not how I drew it up. Not how I drew up the first game that I would coach either. Um, but I do want to talk about our guys. The last 36 hours, they've been through some adversity and they've been shook up a little bit. And that did have some effect on them tonight. More importantly, we just played tonight's game on Duquesne's terms, in terms of it was much more up and down than we want to play. We want to try and keep teams in the half court. And then, they shot it and went and got it a lot tonight. They had 13 offensive rebounds. They had 14 second chance points in the first half. And that's just not who we are. That's not who we've been. And we lacked the discipline defensively tonight that we had out in Pittsburgh.
Coach, from a mental perspective, where do you feel the team was by the time tip happens?
Yeah, so it's funny. We had a good day of practice yesterday. We had a good walkthrough today. I'd be lying to you if I'm sure it affects different people in different ways. So I'm sure, some guys' minds weren't where they would typically be on a game in late January. But that's up to us as coaches right now to, rally them and keep them connected and keep them together and learn from tonight. That's the good news. I said to them after the game, I said, we had our highest point total of the season. And offensively, we're going to continue to try and get better. Now, defensively, we have to get back to what we just did this last Saturday up at Rhode Island, which was guard with great discipline and great effort. And we didn't do that today. So whether it was because their heads were, a little messed up because the last 36 hours, many possibly. But again, that's our job as coaches to keep them focused and keep them present and take advantage of these opportunities.
Cody Baker with 23 points and 7 threes. He really got to a point where he was feeling it. What made him so tough to close out on tonight?
Yeah, well, first of all, he's a tall shooter, and he was 5 for 5 from three a couple games ago, so we knew he was a capable shooter. If you take that game out, he actually hadn't been shooting that great of a percentage. He did have that 5 for 5 outing, but really what it was second shots go in. So when you give teams second and third shots every time down, because your defense isn't set. When a team gets an offensive rebound, your defense is discombobulated and it leads to some kick out threes. And then the other thing tonight, our scramble effort, typically we are a good scramble defensive team, and we were not tonight. So we didn't stick shooters the way we need to. And again, he's a tall shooter. He's a very capable shooter. And
hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Drew.
Yeah, what's going on? Let's talk about the team's performance in the first half. Obviously, you only shoot 24%, but you got a lot of good open looks. And I think this season, you guys just haven't been able to knock them down on regularity. What do you tell the team after that performance? How do you get this team to kind of bounce back and understand that sooner or later, those open looks are going to end up falling and this team is going to be better offensively?
Yeah, and to your point, we did have a lot of good looks in the first half. We just didn't knock them down, especially to start. The one thing that was a little frustrating tonight was we started to become a little impatient. I felt like we could have got better shots if we continued to work the ball. As the half went on, again, to your point, we had some good looks early because we were being patient. We were making them guard 2-3 sides of the floor. And then we kind of went away from that. We're taking quicker shots. And again, that's not who we are. But yeah, we just got to stay with it. We're going to stay in the gym. We're going to keep shooting. We're going to keep doing everything we can to put these kids in position to shoot the ball in. And we're confident that they're going to be able to do that.
And Coach, you mentioned the battle on the glass. Obviously, Duquesne able to out-rebound you guys 42-27. In the first matchup, we saw a lot of times where Joel and Onyi were both out there on the floor at the same time. Saw just a little bit here tonight. Was that just a reason because of the front court and how, thin you guys are there? Did you not want to put Joel and Onyi in position to get into foul trouble? Was that why we didn't see them out there together?
Yeah. So good question. And you can see we did it in the first half. Part of it was Joel picked up fouls in the first half, and we were trying to be cautious of that. The other reason is, Chris Austin is really good when he has a four-man matchup right now. So again, how do you spark us offensively but maintain our defensive identity? Trying to give Chris those opportunities. And again, he had 19 points tonight. He definitely took advantage of that matchup. and we've been able to rebound with a 4-guard lineup this year. You know, our blockouts were nowhere where they needed to be tonight. And again, part of it is the guards can't just rely on Joel and Onyi to go get every rebound. Like they have to, and again, especially against a big athletic team like Duquesne, who's going to make it rugged like that. We knew going in we were going to have to keep them off the glass. And you know, if you're fortunate enough to make a miss, you got to clean up the possession.
Yeah, my final question for you, Coach. Obviously, Josh Navarro's been hampered with this ankle injury. You know, tonight, 0 of 8 from the floor. He has to deal with a great quick guard in Tavian Dunmartin. What can you tell us about Josh's status right now? How close to 100% is he, and how will you go about the next few days to kind of make sure you get him ready for Sunday's matchup with VCU?
Yeah, well, obviously he's going to be incredibly important against VCU with the pressure they bring defensively. So yeah, we're going to make sure tomorrow's just going to be a film day. We're going to spend a lot of time in the film room and learn and get better from today. Spending a lot of time with treatment, making sure he gets done what he needs to get done. And I'll listen to our trainer tomorrow and we'll go from there.
Coach, this is the first one with you on the sideline, calling the timeouts, going through everything that a head coach has to go through. What was the learning curve like your first time out there?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, we were in here early this morning meeting as a staff in terms of how we wanted to try and structure timeouts and sub rotations. And we were able to stick to that in the first half to some degree. But yeah, you know, it's definitely a learning curve in terms of when to call a timeout, when not to call a timeout. Yeah, I probably should have called one earlier in the second half. But, you know, we also, you know, talking to our guys, we do have to have the ability to play through runs from the other team at times as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, I just have one quick question.
How do you think the guys handled the transition to a new coach?
So it's a great question, Rich. I'd like to say they've handled it as good as they can. Is probably the best answer I can give you right now in terms of, you know, there's guys who, you know, process things different ways, and some guys who it hit right away, some guys that hit last night, some guys that hit this morning, some guys it's going to hit over the next couple of days. So I think they've handled it as well as they can. You know, we need to do a better job as a coaching staff just in terms of trying to keep them, you know, really focused and really 10 toes right now and be 2 feet in where we are and stay focused at the task at hand because, you know, no one feels bad for us. I can tell you that much. So we need to be locked in. We need to be better, and we need to get back to guarding how we're capable of guarding.